This is the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. Earning your living executing trades from the comfort of your home seems a lot more cool than most 9 to 5 gigs. Trouble is, if you don't know what you're doing, you can wreck your portfolio. But with our trading instructors, BK, Soto, and Mitchell, you'll learn how to day trade the futures market. Streaming daily, 9 to 11 a.m. Free. This is a free trading education channel. The Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge, where everybody is welcome. Get in the chat, ask us questions, learn. And now your instructors. This is BK, Soto, and Mitchell.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. Welcome to the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. I'm BK. Like I said, there'll be 3 instructors here. There'll be myself, Soto, and Mitchell. Mitchell should be joining us today, been on vacation, or honeymoon. So he just got married, so he's been in Thailand for the week. So he should be back today, so that'd be good. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys joining us and checking us out. So what you see on my screen here is just the risk disclosures. So take a quick few minutes to look at those, and just the basic rundown is everything here is for educational purposes only. Okay, any trades we take are not a recommendation in any way, shape, or form. So make sure that any trades you decide to take is on your own doing and own judgment. So it has nothing to do with us. So again, just the risk disclosures are here. Everything's for educational purposes only. Okay, guys, so we got the legals out of the way. So let me kind of move that out of the way now. We can kind of get to some chart. We can kind of pull up a chart, but check out the description below the video here, and you'll kind of see a little bit more about who we are and what we do. We're just here at we're a trading channel that's going to kind of teach a method that we trade here, and it is going to be it's very simple. We do this live stream daily to kind of teach anybody that's brand new to trading, never traded a day in their life, or someone with 20, 30 plus years experience, like myself and a couple people that sign on here. We'll kind of bring all this into focus here, but it's a good channel to be a part of. So we're a new channel, so please like and subscribe. I sure do appreciate that. But again, just read the description below. It's and you kind of read the rules there. I want this to be a very positive environment. Okay, that's what this is all about. So with all that being said, we'll kind of just jump into some charts here. Good morning, Paul. See that you're online early this morning. Thank you. Glad you're here. You already made a point. All right, good job. So we'll kind of go through that. But Soto, you there this morning?
I am. Good morning. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. You?
Doing well. Thank you, buddy.
All right. You just told me you made some points as well. Paul said he's made point made at 450 at candle 29.22. Okay. So let's take a quick look at that and see where he's made a point this morning already. So let's check that out. If you guys can see my chart here. First, while we're pulling some things up, I know Soto's made some points as well this morning prior to in pre-market here. I'm gonna go ahead and chart up a couple things just to kind of show you kind of what we do here, kind of the basic things we look for. So let me kind of put those on the chart here. So I call them the tools of the trade. Okay, and first thing we look for, let me put that in here, is going to be our price action. So I'll put that in there. So first thing is price action. All right. And if you guys are here for the first time, please go ahead and let us know you're here. We really do appreciate you being here. You know, not putting you on the spot by any means, but if you have any kind of questions or concerns, please ask. We're here to help and want to make sure that we do everything we can to further your trading education. So we have price action. We use a volume. Man, I'm having a problem typing this morning. We look at volume. We look at support and resistance. All right. And we look at supply and demand. I'll clean this up here in just a second. Let me go ahead and get it on the chart. Supply and demand. And that will be our tools of the trade, kind of a 5-tool, just like a 5-tool athlete. That would kind of use the same concept here, order flow. All right, so let me clean this up for you and kind of put it on the chart so it can be seen. But yeah, these are kind of our tools of the trade. You see, we don't do a lot of indicators here. All right, we got basic fundamentals of the markets, how we trade. We learned the more simple it is, the better the trading, quite honestly. So we want to keep those 5 tools in play and look for those things to line up to make a good trade. And those are the things we look for every day, okay? To put our trades into perspective. That's kind of the process that we look for. When all these things line up, we usually put in a good trade, or it causes a good trade whether we're in it or not. But okay, so that's kind of the tools of the trade. So again, if you're just now joining us, I sure do appreciate that very, very much. But ask any kind of questions and we'll be sure to help you, and happy to help you. No dumb questions here. I mean, this is for somebody who's been trading for 30 seconds or 30 years. It does not matter. Okay, so any questions you have, we'll be sure to explain those. And we've got videos on our channel here that kind of explain each one of these tools, except for order flow. I've not introduced that yet on a video. It's kind of the last piece. So check out the rest of those. We have videos dedicated to each of those topics of the tools of the trade there in our channel, so you can kind of learn what we're looking for, a little bit more in depth training on that. But Soto, let's go ahead and jump to you this morning. You said you made some trades and you got some zones marked up, so let's walk through some of those. Okay.
Yeah. I've only taken one trade, but I had 2 zones I was looking at. I got into one, and I'm still in it. I'm trailing 2 contracts on that current drive. So let me start with that one. I drew a zone at the 8:30 candle.
8:30 candle. All right.
So the 8:30. That was my zone.
That's your first zone. All right. Let me draw that up here for everybody to see. All right. So the 8:30 candle, the big wick candle. That's your zone.
That's my zone. Correct.
Okay. All right.
All right. And I went ahead and decided to front jump this trade. So I had my trade sitting at 2924.75.
Okay.
All right.
And then for everybody. All right. Go ahead.
And I got picked up, and I didn't even take a peek. It just happened to pick me up right on the 850 candle.
Nice. All right.
So I got picked up to go short, right? And then I locked in my 1 point. So I'm trading 19 contracts. So I was able to lock in at a 1 point profit.
Okay.
12 contracts. So at 12, at 1 point, once you reach the 1 point, I locked in 12 contracts. So I guaranteed 12 points there. And then typically at the 2 point mark, I release the other 5 contracts. But as you can see, there's some, that's when it came out to some support. So it was kind of hanging out there a little bit. It didn't quite get to the 2 points when it was happening. And I was getting a little nervous because it's been bouncing off and on. So I moved the 1 tick into profit. So instead of locking 2 points, I ended up actually locking 1.75 points in there. 5 contracts for 1.75.
Okay.
But then thankfully it broke through. So I was like, oh man, I should have moved it, but that's all right. So now I'm writing 2 contracts, and I'm at a profit target of 4 right now. I haven't locked it in yet. Still in the move because I'm expecting hopefully that it's coming into this other zone that I had marked, which is the I had a hidden zone marked at 725. And the funny thing is I had planned to front jump this one as well, which it was beautiful. It came in, was 1 tick in, and then bounced off. And then I don't know if you can see on the 855 candle, I took a 1 tick in, and the next candle actually would have made my point, but I didn't trade obviously because I was in the middle of a trade.
Right.
And then of course, now this is where you wish you were wrong. Like, oh my gosh, please do not respect the zone, break through it. But they did. They kind of went to the bottom of the zone, and now they're kind of hanging out here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening. They haven't taken off yet either way. So I'm debating if I need to lock the points in yet. Hopefully, maybe this is the candle that breaks the bottom there. But I'm sitting around 4 points, 4.5 right now, kind of, up and down in this area. So I haven't locked any points in yet. So I'm expecting that if this breaks here, this is where I will move my stop target at, has the pivot point, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So I have not moved any, locking any points. But those are my two zones, and so far they were respected. And that's it.
Nice job, man. Yeah, two good trades there. So good job, man. You made some good points this morning early. So nice job. Yeah, we're kind of coming into this area of sideways action where I just drew a kind of hidden candle there, hidden zone there at 705. You had one at 725. I think it's playing both of those right there. So it's playing both of those zones right there, and you entered, like you said, at the for a good second trade there, so that was a good job there. So we'll just kind of see how this little zone plays out pre-market here. But you could actually draw a few different zones here, but we'll just kind of leave that one in play right now since it's the most immediate zone. You'll see the yellow zones that I have on my chart here, or the orange zones, are actually from the hourly time frame. The two bottom one, the bottom one, and the top one. I've got one right here in the middle, as you can see at the top of price action, which is drawn. That's the original zone that sort of drew to take his short trade that I have marked up there, the original trade that he nailed out his profit targets on that one and still holding position, so that was great. So that's kind of what you're seeing going on right now. Let me kind of get to Paul's made a couple points this morning too, so let me kind of mark up those zones for Paul. So Paul made a point at 450 candles. So let me look where that 450 candle's at. This is going to be a zone that he drew up. So let's check out that 450 candle. Okay, he took that's this candle down here. It says at 2250. 2250 he got into the trade. Okay, so that was his price. So he made a point at 820 as well. On 820 candle, so let's check that candle out. So Paul's doing good. Yeah, so he's same candle basically almost. Did you go well, let me ask you this real quick, Paul. On this 820 candle here, did you go short or long on that? I'm trying to figure out how you decided to do that. Was that based on the 750 zone that was drawn up? Because that would have been a great trade into, that would have been a great second entry into our zone here at 750. I'll draw that up real quick. I think that would have been the ideal situation there to trade that. I'm hoping that's the one you took right there at the 820. Would be a bounce to long. That would have been a second entry into our zone, which would have made a great entry for the fact that it was lower than our first entry. Our first entry into that zone was at 805. But for us to take a second entry, we need price to be lower than the first entry, which this happened to be a tick or two lower. Looks like it was a few ticks lower, so that was good. So he would have got into 820 to go long there. I think that's what he's referring to. So nice job there. So we got a couple guys, of the active guys here making a few points this morning, which is great. That's what we want to see, and it just goes to further that the method is continuing to work, right? And so this is a method that will work on any market. First off, so we just trade the S&P 500 because it's the most liquid market to trade, and this method works extremely well on that market because this market has a definite personality, and you'll learn that as the more often you trade it. It moves in markets in the ways we like it to move for our zones. It respects zones very well, so we like to mark up zones and trade in the ES market. It also works on the micros, so some micros are traded very nice, and the same concept here. It's the exact same concept, which is cool. So if you have a smaller account, the micros are perfect for this. Okay, so the micro E-minis and the micro NASDAQ, all that good stuff are perfect for this method. But the challenge is 1 point a day, and people might not think that can be done, or think that's too easy to do or what have you. You can't make any money doing that. Well, we definitely like to argue that point very strongly, and we show that every day at the end of our trading live stream here, which is about 11 o'clock. We're about 2 hours. We present the live spreadsheet showing our wins and our losses, and I think you can see, you'll see at the end of the day here that just one contract on a $1,000 account, even on the full standard E-mini here, it's worth $50 a point. We'll take, and that's how we kind of justify it here. We put that on the spreadsheet, and you're going to take a 1 point stop or a 1 point profit, and you're done. Okay, on the $1,000 contract, and that's kind of what we track here. And you can see 29 days into that, we're up $620 on just exactly that method of taking a 1 point stop or 1 point profit. And that might not be enough for a lot of people, but what I try to tell people, give it time, let your account compound, because that 1 point that's worth $50 a day, that same 1 point with multiple contracts will turn into $500 to $5,000 to $50,000, or that same exact point. So people just need to understand, master that 1 point. Okay, if you can master that 1 point, it'll change your life. It absolutely will change your life, and it takes a lot of discipline. It sounds easy, but it takes a lot of discipline to do that. Our entries are very tight. We have 1 point stops, so we have to really focus on our entry and be sure that we want to make the trade, and we look for everything, all the tools to line up to make that trade, and we have a very high probability of making our points when those do line up. So and like I said, we keep a spreadsheet so you can see that every trading day that we have, and that way you see the wins and the losses, so you kind of watch that account grow. And the first, like I said, the first get through that first $1,000 takes a little time. We're 28 days in, but we're up 62% on that account at 1 point a day. So but once you start getting to $2,000 and $3,000, getting to 2 and 3 or 4 contracts, you start jumping price very, very quickly. Soto's proven to you guys, if you've been following the chat, he's up to 16, 18, 19 contracts, whatever he is. He started on one contract with $1,000.
Yeah.
So
19 now.
He's up to 19 contracts. So, and that's taken he's got trail stops in now, which you'll add when you get into multiple contracts. You'll end up a different ATM strategy where you'll trail position, so you can start compounding your points even faster, and that's how he's gotten up to 19 contracts in 28 days, guys. So, and he trades a little bit more often, to do that, but he started doing that when he got multiple contracts. He started making multiple trades, and that's kind of what we teach in the method here. Okay, but when you have one contract and $1,000 account, until you get to that $2,000 account, you're going to take the one trade. No matter if you win or lose, you're done. It doesn't matter. You can go to demo account at that point and continue to trade for the practice, but following the method. But on a live account, you're going to go ahead and take that 1 point stop or 1 point profit, and then be done. Okay. But the account will grow exponentially. And then I trade in the room here. You'll see me trade 2 contracts, no more than that, just for the purposes of the my screen's the one that's being shown for the live stream here, and I want people to understand money can be made with a small account in this market with our method, and that's the reason I will keep it small. Eventually I'll kind of grow it, so over time, just to prove that it can continue to grow. But for now, I'd say for the next few months, I'll stay at 2 contracts just for the sake of the channel. That way we put in a lot of videos of small accounts, and that's what we want. We don't want people to think, well, we've got all this money in there, we're just starting at a big account, so you're making all that money. Well, that's not what I want to do here. Soto and Mitchell and those guys and Paul and those guys, they'll be growing their account and trading more contracts, but for the sake of the room again, and for the live stream, I'll keep 2 contracts on, so you can understand and watch the account grow. So anyway, so that's kind of it to that. So again, if you have any kind of questions, please throw them in the chat, and then we'll answer those. And we just look forward to looking for some positions to trade right here. So so I'm assuming Soto, you're out of this position?
No, I'm not. I'm still in it.
Okay.
Yeah, should I get out?
Well, that's up to you. I mean, it's definitely bouncing out of this area here. It might bounce to the long side, but that's up to you, man. I mean, like like we teach early in the morning here before market opens, we're not going to catch very big runners. He's caught a couple contracts over a couple points a runner at this point, so it's really up to him how he wants to manage that position. But you don't want, unless there's major news announcements and things like that coming out prior to market open, you're usually not going to get big runs until market opens. So because of that, we want to manage our runners a little closer and lock in the points a little more aggressively.
Yeah, I locked it in.
All right.
I'm out.
So you're out, but overall it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's 4.25 points.
Yeah, 4.25 points this one on that one trade there to the short side. So that's great, man. That's a good. That's a good. With a lot of contracts that you're starting to trade, you're making some money. What is that? A couple $1,000, $1,000 for you, somewhere around there?
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, 14.12.
Yeah, so $1,400. Yeah, it'll be $1,400 before the market's open.
Yeah.
So that's a good day, right? So that's a lot more money than most people make every day, all day long, working a tail off. So you did this in a matter of about 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, somewhere around there.
Wow, I was making my oatmeal. Yes.
That's always a nice feeling. But that's the power. That's the power of the contracts growing, though, right? Increasing your contracts and letting the compounding work in your favor. And if you can just hold off on your account for a while and let it compound and let that kind of grow, and then over a couple, 3 or 4 months, you can start drawing some money out of that account. But let that thing grow to where it grows exponentially like that, and that'll be a good price. So. All right.
Real quick before we go forward, at 10 o'clock today, I think we got a big announcement of the ISM non-manufacturing PMI coming out.
That's not today.
That's not big?
That was yesterday. Today we got October 2nd. We had at 10:30 we have crude oil inventories. At 8:15 this morning we had ADP non-farm employment change, which is a little bit. It was expected at 140,000. It came in at 135,000. So a little bit less, but nothing. It's not gonna create a shock. That was at 8:15 this morning, Eastern time, and we see that's what that little spike's about there at here on the chart at 8:20. That doji there, that's kind of what that's about. So not a big deal. At 10:30 this morning we have crude oil inventories. The ISM that you were speaking of was yesterday. That's what created that massive move down yesterday, was the ISM, because it missed it really bad. That's what created that big move down yesterday. But today, 10:30, we look for crude oil inventories, and we'll get a little spike and move out of that. But that's not until 10:30, so we'll keep a watch on that. Okay. All right. So good day thus far. We're making some money this morning already, which is always great. We love to make money early in the morning before the market opens, and so we got members making money this morning, so that's awesome. Yeah, Paul had an entry at 8:20, which was perfect. I just removed that. I'll draw this back up for you real quick, where he went off of our demand zone there at 8. It was drawn up at 750. He got in at 8:20 to the long side, made some good money there. So good job, Paul. It's always nice to make points early in the morning, and Soto's made 19 points this morning based on multiple contracts. It's actually about 4.25 points he made on per contract there, which was nice. But all right, so we'll just kind of keep watching this here. So we have a little bounce out of this zone. We drawn up. This is called a hidden zone for us at a 705. Had a little bounce out of that right now. It's definitely showing some support in this demand zone, but no trade thus far. Okay, the trade has already been missed out at this point. If the ideal situation where we would have put our entry would have been around 220 even, and or 19 3/4, or what have you, but. Again, we were talking and didn't make that trade. So, but anyway, all right. So we'll just kind of keep our zones drawn, and then we'll kind of talk through here as price wants to show itself, and we kind of read the story, what's going on, and look for areas of support and resistance, and then find the supply and demand zones out of that. And then we watch price action and volume, kind of gives us those final triggers along with order flow. But I will not be showing the order flow on this chart here yet because there's a lot to order flow, and I want you to learn the basics, because you can trade this method completely off basics right now. As a matter of fact, Soto does not even use order flow right now, and he's knocking it out of the park. He said the last couple of weeks have been big weeks for him, but he has stayed very steady through his trading, and has done very well with it. So order flow is not even a necessity. It's kind of that fifth tool, but hey man, we like 4-star athletes, 4 tools athletes as well, right? So we'll take those 4 tool positions, and because it still gives us a very high probability of success. So we'll watch that. So all right guys, we're 4 minutes away from the open, so appreciate everybody being here. If you're new, hey, please take a few moments to subscribe to the channel, and if you don't mind, we sure do appreciate that. But we want this channel to be an environment, a very friendly environment for you to learn to trade our method here. If it interests you, we sure do appreciate you kind of tagging along and jumping in with us, and try to make this fun. But there's going to be 3 different people here that you'll hear voices on the live stream here. Myself, Soto, and Mitchell. And Soto and Mitchell kind of bring a different dynamic to the channel because they're newer traders. You know, I've been doing it for 20 plus years. So there's things that I might tend to overlook that from a new trader standpoint they will not overlook, so they'll be able to point those things out for anyone that's new to trading in general. So you get that little dynamic, which is really good to have here. So we'll kind of keep that going. So if you're new, hey, please ask any questions, introduce yourself. We love the interaction here. We welcome anyone new that's watching that would like to jump on and kind of talk or ask questions about the method or anything. Just introduce yourself, say hi, whatever you'd like to do. We'd sure appreciate that. But hope everybody's doing well today, and looking for an exciting Wednesday here to kind of make some money. We made some good money already this morning. So that's been a good start to the day. So we'll kind of be patient and wait for our trades to kind of set up at this point. Okay.
By the way, you call on telling me to get out on that move there. So
yeah.
It's a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very good.
Yeah. Well, good job, man, doing that. It was just a good time to lock in those extra points, I believe. You know, and that's what we did there.
Yes.
Well, that's what you did there, which was nice. All right, so we got kind of coming back into the zone that we originally had marked up this morning. We'll kind of look at that and see. Do you see any kind of entry into this zone, kind of looking ahead of time? And you kind of see the other entry into this zone that you would take, Soto?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. So technically it hasn't been traded, right? They haven't entered the zone. So it's set up open, so I guess it's going to be a little more conservative. So I don't know yet. I'm looking. Probably a good entry point could be at 25.75.
Yeah, not bad there. I agree with that. I'm probably going to tighten up the zone a little bit since we've kind of rejected that close to it already.
Yeah,
I'm going to kind of tighten it up. I'm going to tighten it up for the 835 candle only, which will start at 26 and end at 27.75. I will tighten the zone up to that, which also brings in some potential resistance based on previous price action, which I'll kind of draw over here. All this kind of previous price action we have going on through here is a good opportunity to possibly get a second opportunity to short this zone right here. We've already made 4 points out of that, which was great. Soto did, so we'll probably look to I think we have an opportunity based on volume. As volume decreases, if it wants to continue to go here, we'll watch price action. We know that's a good supply zone. It's kind of been tightened up right here, so it's a good supply zone with previous price action that shows had some pretty good support there that was broken, that became resistance, but I still think there's a lot of supply there, a lot of sellers in the market there, so we'll kind of watch the volume when we kind of get into that area. And I think a good safe entry. You know, we have 1 point stops here, guys, so remember, entries are extremely important to us. Okay, we don't want to trade more than 1 point stop. We never move our 1 point stop. First off, we never expand that. And
All right.
so
Mitch, ready.
yeah, I see Mitchell chiming in here. So Mitchell wants to join the group. He's been gone for on honeymoon for a week. So let's guys, just bear with me 1 second. Let me go ahead and then pull both of those guys in at the same time so we can kind of get the crew back together. So just 1 second, guys. We'll kind of bring them in here so see what they got to say. See what Mitchell has to
Going, gentlemen.
say. Mitchell, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm making it.
You making it? I'm sure you got a little jet lag, maybe, but
Actually, I caught some kind of illness. I don't really know what it is.
that's not good, man.
Probably need Dr. Soto to come diagnose.
Well, so say good thing we got our local doctor online here, and so that's always nice to have a little bit of.
Yeah, my throat is just like completely swollen shut.
Wow.
So I feel just like strep throat. It's probably just a combination of being in that plane for so long, breathing that filthy air.
Yeah. Well, did you have a good time in Thailand anyway?
It was great. Absolutely unbelievable.
Awesome. Good for you, man.
It's beautiful. It's awful to get there, but once you get there, it's worth it. I will say that.
Good deal. I'm glad to hear that, man. And congratulations on being married.
Appreciate it.
Now you are part of the crew here. Congratulations there.
Yeah.
So Soto's not married yet. He's still single man, but
He's got a little bit of time.
he does. Yeah, no reason to rush it. Find the right one. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll start with the marriage. Stop with the marriage talk, I guess. But get into trading. But yeah, we've been very productive while you've been gone, which has been good. Soto's been knocking it out of the park, so that's been great.
Yeah, Soto's been killing it.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. So all right. So you'll kind of get back into real quick here. We'll kind of just talk with Mitchell as we got some downtime, but we kind of point out some areas that might be of interest. There's a lot of support down here where price is kind of bouncing from. Just push through our zone just by 1 tick, but we kind of have no issues with that because we knew there's a lot of support down here. So there's a lot of different areas we can go into an opportunity to trade from. Down here at the bottom, I got an hourly zone down here. That's what you'll see. This zone down here at the bottom is a hourly zone that's been drawn up. So it's already been bounced off pretty well from an hourly time frame at 5:45. But I would expect it to kind of come back in here and bounce a little bit more, show some resistance. So we'll just kind of watch that price and see what it wants to do. The market's open right now, so that's the reason you got this big move down. Market opened 3 minutes ago while we were talking, and that's okay. So we'll kind of wait to see if it wants to kind of get into that zone and bounce a little bit. So I would be looking for entry as volume comes down a little bit. I'll be looking at potential price entry somewhere around 1650 to 16 even, somewhere around there. But we'll kind of wait for price to kind of get to that area and volume to kind of slow down a little bit. But
We should be on 12.9, right? Or
yeah, 12.19. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. For some reason, mine's back on 9.19, and it won't let me roll it over. When I roll it over, it stays on 9.19.
I'm not sure what the deal is there.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll close out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just reset it real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, BK.
Yeah.
I took a quick trade in. I got a quick point, but then it came back and took me right out.
Where'd you get in at?
Hold on. Gosh. So I'm using. Hold on. Sorry, my chart. I found a new. Not a new zone. I was trading out of this zone at the 620 candle.
Uh-huh.
All right. Based on that zone, I traded in at 18 point and a quarter.
Okay.
And I just got enough rejection to lock in to get a point, based on my move. But then they came back and tricked me out. I got out of an extra tick, so I got 12 contracts at a point, and then the rest I had to take profit.
Okay. So you got in. So you got in right at market open, then, didn't you? You had to have, I guess.
I did, yes.
For that,
yes.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm sorry. On that candle, yeah, the candle was coming down. It was rejecting. So we have three spots next to each other. If you look at the one that I had, 725, the one you had, which I think was actually the better one, and is a 705. But then there's also one at I believe a 620. And so I figured we were getting rejections from all three, right? It rejected off the first one, then yours kind of stood there a little longer, and then it went to the last one right before it broke it. So I took a quick little trade there, and I got a point and a couple ticks there. So.
Good job, yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Kind of, if you're looking at the chart now, you just see a big red candle. But when you watch intra candle price action in real time, you get pretty good bounces out of these zones that you can make these points that we're talking about doing here. So don't let the big red candle fool you that there wasn't opportunity to trade in there. There absolutely was, and points were made from that. So if you're looking at my chart now, I'm just scrolling. I'm going to 60 minute and kind of scrolling out. I'm trying to find our next zone that this is bouncing off of, or our next potential zone for a price to bounce. And we kind of see an area here. Let me see here. I see another opportunity. Here, we'll see if price wants to get down to that. But this is definitely another opportunity to trade out of. So we'll just kind of wait and watch and see if price wants to get down to it. So that way we'll have an idea what's happening when price kind of gets to that area. If we see some bounce, or we know why it's happening, and that's the main thing from the hour chart. We want to get some structure from a bigger time frame where price might try to be going to, or where price might be trying to bounce from. So we want to kind of keep an eye on that and be aware of those areas. Okay, so so from that standpoint, let's kind of see, we got this price push through this zone here, gave us opportunity to bounce there, but we didn't take the trade. But it did give us a bounce opportunity, but we kind of let that one go. Okay, so we didn't chase it. We don't chase price here. We wait for the obvious signs to set up, and even though that zone was respected a little bit, volume was very high, which we expect because of the market open. So we just didn't trade that because it didn't meet all the criteria there. So we'll wait for volume starting to decrease here. We'll wait for that to kind of come into a zone, hopefully, which I'll kind of pull up on the chart. We have a zone down here, which is an hour time frame, but we do have a zone down here starting at about 8.25, 8.5. We want to watch volume decrease into that area, and because that's an area right now of demand. And if you don't know how to identify supply and demand, then please, after you watch this today, the live stream or what have you, if you're interested in that, then check out the channel, because we have dedicated videos to the price action, volume, and support and resistance, and supply and demand, so you can kind of understand what we're looking for there. So good push down here, but still I'm not comfortable with the trade at this point, so I will not be taking it just yet. Still like to have price slow down for us a little bit here. Okay, we want that. The way we kind of look at that coming into these zones, we want price to kind of be exhausted when it comes into these areas of support and resistance and supply and demand. We want price to kind of be exhausted, so we can kind of get that path of least resistance, so to speak, would be if price is kind of coming down and it's tired, we got a lot of buyers in there, then it'll be an easy push up and a bounce, and that's kind of what we're looking for, and vice versa to the downside. Okay, so just kind of be patient for that and kind of wait on it, and we'll get our opportunities. We'll have opportunities every day. They were presented this morning as well already and made some good money, but we'll kind of watch now that market's open. So excuse me one second, I'm about to sneeze here. Oh goodness. Maybe not. Sorry about that. All right, so let's see here. getting a little bounce out of here, but volume's actually increasing there, so we would not have been taking that trade. Okay, volume's actually increased into that zone. Even though it got a tiny little bounce, it wouldn't have been enough really to give us our point. Well, actually it would have, but we're not taking that trade right there. At least I'm not. Soda, did you take it?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't have any zones down there. I'm looking for one right now, but I don't have anything.
All right. Well, we do have a zone there from the hourly time frame, so that's kind of what it's bouncing off of, which is what's cool. If you're new to the method, you'll see these zones that we have drawn up prior to price being there. That's the key word, prior to. You'll see price react out of these zones to the bounce to the upside or bounce to the downside. So we don't pick these and mark these things up after the fact. They're all prior to price action. We let price action determine our trades here. We don't have indicators that are kind of lagging. We don't do that. So everything you've seen zone that's drawn up, those are things that have and being triggered. Those are all done in real time. Okay, they're not done as price is moving into those. Those are all done prior to. So just like this zone was already drawn up, and we see it's bouncing out of that, so it's respecting that zone of temporary demand. What's that?
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was unmuted. Sorry. Actually, I went back and it's bouncing off an area from several days ago. I went back there. I didn't realize it was already triggered. So this would have been a great trade right here. Because this is from an actual supply and demand candle, and it's apparently confluence with the hourly candle. So that would have been a really good trade there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great zone, but I just don't like volume was actually increasing into that. So I kind of negated the opportunity to make the trade there, in my opinion, since volume had actually increased on that candle into the zone. Now we're in the zone here, and volume's decreasing, so. Which is good. So let's kind of see where we could possibly take this trade here. Let me take a look at something right quick. Let's see kind of what we got going on. I think it would be definitely a good opportunity to bounce here, but we're going to hold off just a little bit longer. Let me kind of go back to the hourly chart real fast, is where I've got this zone marked up, and see if I can find an entry before it's too late here. So hang with me, guys. Sorry if you're just checking us out here. Sorry about that. We can look for 5.5 to even to 6 1/4. I don't know if that's been triggered yet, so let me draw a line kind of.
You can do there's a candle that going back to the 5 minutes from several days ago. The 6.75 to 5, so 29.5 to 6.75.
Yeah, so I like 6 even actually on that. So I'll look to put a trade in here temporarily for 6 even. So on my chart, if you're checking that out, that's actually what I'm talking about here. Is whether it gets down to us or not, it's actually bouncing out of that. So it's finding support. In this zone right here, whether it gets to our point where I think it's probably a good entry, a safe entry is around 6. It's probably a pretty good entry. I'll go ahead and put that in here.
Order pending.
6 even, so we'll kind of watch that and see what it wants to give us, and see if it gives us this opportunity to trade. We got some big buyers at 07 even, so I don't know. We'll just have to kind of watch it and see. See if it kind of gets into us and takes us in, then we'll take the trade. If not a big deal. One thing you'll find out in our method, there's plenty of opportunities to make trades, so there's no reason to chase a trade. If it doesn't get your ideal position, we want price to come to us. If it doesn't get into our ideal position, then not a big deal. That's okay. We'll wait for the next opportunity, which there will be opportunity. There's actually going to be short opportunities coming up here pretty quick, I think, as well. But we'll just have to wait for price to kind of do it. So if price wants to take off from here, not a big deal, guys. Okay, so no reason to try to chase it. Plenty of opportunity to come.
Yep, and it's bouncing off. Sorry, I just got back to real time right here. and it bounced off just that one zone I just named, right at 6.75.
Yep.
To 5.25.
Uh-huh.
So I have a zone right there based on my candle from several days ago that has not been triggered. So
Okay.
let's see if it respects this area.
Yeah, since prices come down there after that big doji, it could be a double top bottom there. I'm not too concerned about that. I'm going to drop my entry a little bit lower to about 5.5. You said the zone is from where? From 5?
The zone is from 6.75
right.
to 5.25.
Okay, yeah. So I'll drop down to one tick above the bottom, and we'll kind of let price. Since we got volume still kind of decreasing, but it's still kind of heavy here. I mean, you can kind of feel price is still kind of heavy to the downside. So we'll kind of get a little bit deeper into this zone here. So I'm going to drop an entry opportunity down here at 505.5 and see if we can kind of get a rejection wick out of that area and kind of catch an up move here. But we'll kind of just wait for that entry to come to us here. And I'm willing to take my 1 point stop too, guys. That's the other side of it. Got to make sure, are you willing to risk that 1 point here, a stop? If wherever you get into the trade, you got to make sure you're okay with the loss because of a 1 point, because we do not, let me stress this, we do not widen our stops here in this method. You know, we have a different, like kind of a runner method, a little swing method that we will, our stops will be the width of a zone, the whole zone, but at the same time, our profit target's about 3 to 4 times the width of the zone. So we will show that here often, I mean here and there, but for right now we're definitely taking the 1 point stop. This is our intraday, and anytime I'm going to do that, I'll announce that ahead of time. This type of trade I'm looking for, my stop's going to be more of a swing style stop, but for right now we're definitely doing the 1 point stops and watch the price action because we want to get a bounce here. I don't think this double bottom will hold, this little temporary double bottom on this 5-minute chart. I don't think it'll hold. I think price is going to exceed further and create a rejection wick to the upside, which is what we're hoping for. Okay, so, and I'm willing to wait for that at 5.5. If it comes to me and gets me, great. If it doesn't, not a big deal. Not a big deal.
So, what I want to point out, and I think you have it on your chart. Like I said, I kind of struggle seeing my computer's kind of weird, so I can't see your chart very good. But I have a zone that I don't know when it was coming down if it hesitated or not, because I wasn't watching it, because I was looking for a zone. But I have one at the price of 13.25 to 12.5. So it's a point, a little bit less than 0.5. So 13 point and a quarter to 12.5.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have that in there, and I didn't. No, I didn't get that zone.
Okay. All right. And I just want to let you know.
Okay.
All right. So I got three something there. The one that 6.75 to 5.25. I have the 8.75 to 7.75, and then the one I just said, the 13.25 to 12.5.
Okay.
So let's see if it respects it, goes up there.
Okay, yeah. Let's see if it respects it and rejects it from there.
Yeah, I was watching it when it was coming down at the 940 candle. I didn't watch it because I was, like I said, I was back there several days ago looking for areas. So I was wondering if it hesitated around that area. I'm sure it did, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure it probably did, yeah. Yeah. So I've left my zone there from my original zone I had prior to market open, prior to ever the live stream. I had a zone here right in the middle that I got my cursor on right there from 17.25 down to 14.5. That was from an hourly that did show support there, but eventually pushed through. But I'm going to leave that now as kind of, I'll kind of have that mentality to flip it into a supply zone now. So I'll also have an opportunity for a short trade when we kind of get up in that area, around the 16 even area. If price wants to get back up into there, I'll look for a short opportunity out of that area as well. Because we know we're going to get hesitation out of there. It's not going to ever just blow through these zones. There'll always be hesitation, usually unless it's some kind of news announcement or something like that, which we need to be aware of ahead of time. But there will be some kind of hesitation for an opportunity to make a bounce trade, and we kind of look for that. If you kind of stick around and watch these zones that we draw up, you'll see that it's amazing how well these opportunities present themselves, and how these zones really hold up for price action to bounce one way or the other. So price is coming down. You see it's coming down into our zone. It's kind of just sitting one tick above our zone right now. It's on our zone at this point at 5.5. It touched me. It has not gotten me in yet, but it did touch me. We got volume decreasing there, so that's a good sign. So what I'd like to see is that, for me personally, I'd like it to one tick me in here, then create a really nice rejection wick. Where that happens or not, I don't know.
Filled.
Okay, I'm in. So it could either push through here or give me a nice little opportunity for a point, or it could take me out a point. Either way, I'm okay with it. Either way. And that's the idea here, guys, is to make sure you're okay with it either way. So we're in right now. We're kind of getting I'd like it to bounce a little bit quicker than it has. To be honest with you, usually our zones bounce pretty fast, but got a lot of buyers right there at 50.
I got it at 6.
All right. So target was filled, so I got my first target, which was good. I don't know when they got me right in, so I'm gonna have to move my trailing stop one tick into profit here, which I'll do. It's gonna get ticked out pretty fast here, but I will move it.
Stop filled.
Yep, I got ticked out one tick of profit, but I made my point and got a tick, so that was good.
I got my point as well, but I didn't go in at 5.5. I went in at 6 even.
Oh, you went at 6 even. Okay, good job. Yep. So you went at one tick above it. Nice. Okay, so good. So got a point. A nice trade there, guys. If you're on that, good job. We let everything line up. Okay, and I'll draw this out on the chart just so if you're not familiar with it. You see how price is actually, the volume down here on the bottom is decreasing. Okay, that's very important.
Right there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And we had an area. I'll highlight this line that I had drawn for my entry. I'll put a different color. Just so I'll put a cyan color so it kind of stick out for you. But that was our entry. I had that marked up ahead of time. That's the key here, guys, is to understand ahead of time it was marked up. We got our point, which was nice. Let me mark up, let me show, just so people understand that it's not done after the fact. I'm going to go ahead and mark up my entries and exits. And you'll see I had an entry right here at 5.5. Okay, got my first target at 6.5, and then my one tick stop was at 5.75. So we got a point and a tick right there. So I'll leave that on the chart for you to see. Price is actually pushing through that right now. So I will not take another opportunity right here, being in the same candle in the same zone. So I'll wait for that to move out of here, then potentially come back in here and maybe take another trade. But for right now, we just let price do what it wants to do. We met our point, right? We took a perfect trade, in my opinion. It meets the rule. It met all the rules, and we took a nice trade. Got our point in a tick, and price just wants to go a little bit lower, which is fine. But this is a good example to show in these zones we get bounces, and we had our opportunity and we got our trade, and it one ticked us in and got us our point in a tick. So that was nice, very nice. So this happens all day long. I mean, we do it quite often, which is cool. So, and as you'll see at the end of the session about 9 o'clock, you'll see the one contract trader spreadsheet that we have going on, and you'll see why we, in 29 days now, well, 28 days, 29 will be the day when we update it, but as of 28 days, we're up 62%, meaning we made $620 at one point at a time on one contract, one trade a day. So you'll see how that compounds, and how you'll see over the next month or two that we'll be trading multiple contracts in there, and that will go very well. I trade 2 contracts here for the channel, but then we always take the first trade from Mitchell or Soto for our individual 1 point spreadsheet. I don't use my trades just because I've been doing it for 20 years. But with those guys have been doing it a lot, they're brand new basically, but they just have done extremely well with the method. But we take those 2 guys as trades, not mine. I don't think it'd be fair for somebody who's got 20 years experience to take their trades at that. We want somebody that's very new to that. And so we'll take their trades on those, and you can see that they've done extremely well. I think the most consecutive days we've had losses were two days in a row. We've had that 1 point stop loss, but the other days, I think we're going on now 11 or 12 days of straight winners, and you'll see how that adds up. So.
And keep in mind, I've been gone for 10 of those days, so that could be a good reason.
No, man, we're good.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. So.
But no, Soto's been he's been pretty proud of himself.
Oh yeah, he's proud of himself. He's gonna let you know how well he's doing, which I think is good, which is good.
Yeah, I tried to call him yesterday. He didn't even want to talk. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just killing it. I'll talk to you tomorrow."
He big boyed you, huh?
Yeah.
No, what he didn't know is that I'm severely ill right now.
I am too, man. I can't even pull my head up.
I don't think you got severely. I don't know that would be the word to use, severely, but you might be under the weather.
Yeah, you're sick.
No, you're not severely.
My fever has risen as the time goes by. I'm probably at 102 or 3 right now.
I'll tell you how I drove to work this morning with my heat on and my seat heater on.
Oh yeah, you definitely got some chill fever going on.
Yeah, I'm sick. When it's 80 degrees outside, I've got the heat on the truck.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry I hate that for you guys.
Oh, it's all good. It's just part of the year. I just hate that I'm sick with Soto. I like picking on him for being weak.
Yeah. And chicken. I think we'll get you every time.
Yeah, you shouldn't be eating that chicken, man. You know better than that.
I bet it's
left out all day.
It's the plastic. It's not the chicken. It's the fact that you haven't been eating out of glass.
That's it. People don't know that story yet, so we'll have to enlighten them at a different time on that story. All right, so let's see where price is bouncing out of. Price is kind of come below our zone just a little bit, and it's bouncing out of the I think out of the September 3rd 1500 candle temporarily. That's kind of where it's bouncing from. I'm not going to mark it up just because it's not the ideal situation for a demand zone, but there's a lot of price sideways and a lot of wicks going on right there, so naturally we're going to get a little bounce out of that. So, but that's not our ideal trading zone, so we're not going to mark it up. We took a great trade this morning based on a great zone, and got a good point, and that's what it takes, man. We want to take those high probability trades, and we got it. But we'll definitely continue to watch and make more trades throughout the day. But we'll wait for the ideal situations to set up, and right now we just don't have that ideal situation. And as you learn to trade, or as you trade this method especially, whether you probably already know how to trade, but if you don't, you're going to learn that to be successful trading tends to be boring. And that's the reality of it. Sometimes it can get boring because you're waiting on the ideal trade. You're not sitting there just gunslinging, you're waiting for the right trade opportunities to set up, and then when they do, you react to them. You're not scared to take them. You take them if your method tells you to take them. Scared money does not play here, just like it does in the casino, right? So it's the same way. So just when you get your position, when you get your trades and your rules line up, then you put the trade on no matter the consequence. If everything lines up and you feel good about the trade, then you're risking that 1 point, and whatever for a one contract trader, that's $50 you're risking. So, but anyway, all right. So we just kind of be patient here and watch price action. And that's the name of the game at this point. So kind of see what happens from this point forward.
I didn't know you were sick, so that's awful, man.
Yeah, buddy, no big deal. Just ate some chicken that was apparently left out a little too long. I guess 2 weeks is long enough chicken to go bad. Then I get the memo on that. But no big deal, buddy. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, me too. I love the trip, but I was ready to come back.
I'm surprised. Did you try to chime in from Thailand at all?
I did, man. So when I bought all these resorts, they all said Wi-Fi. Well,
right.
when I get there, they had Wi-Fi, but it was like dial-up, and I couldn't ever connect. So I was actually out of contact from work the entire time, which was not good at all.
Probably not.
No. About day 8 when I got back to Korea, I was able to get some airport Wi-Fi. Turned on my computer and went into a mild panic. I was like, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. But
Yeah, but I guess they tell you that there's Wi-Fi to get you to book there.
Yeah.
sure.
But
In a way, it's good you had no, you can focus.
yeah, but man, I battle with OCD. I'm like a real nervous worrier, so I was stressed. To the point where I was gonna go just see what it would cost to get the resort Wi-Fi. Okay, let me front the bill for this. I've got
Poor guy.
You're installing cables around the community. Fiber. You could calling Google headquarters to get Google Fiber in.
I know it was rough, but it was fun. You're right. I mean, it was definitely like a good vacation type deal, you know. But it is what it is. I made it, survived. They didn't fire me, so that was good.
That's always good.
They weren't proud of me though.
Well, they knew you were going on. They knew you were going on your honeymoon, man. Well, I mean, I understand you're supposed to maybe keep in touch, but hey, I mean, conditions don't allow for it. You can't.
Right. Life happens.
Yeah, man. It's 1 week out of your time. Big deal, man. That's your honeymoon. But anyway. Well, all right. We got price still pushing down. 10 o'clock hour. So got the good 10 o'clock hour where tends to be some moves, to the long side or downside, depending on which way it's been in demand, which way, it depends on which way it's been moving, but 10 o'clock, big boys tend to come into the picture a little bit more, and we usually get a turn in direction, usually, not all the time, but usually we do. So we'll kind of watch this and see if price wants to turn around here and kind of give us some rejection and look to capitalize on that if the opportunity presents itself. So again, if you're just joining us, sure do appreciate you. Thank you very much for checking us out. Please don't be afraid to hop in, ask any kind of questions you might have, and we'll be sure to kind of talk through some of this with you and for you. But very thankful that you're here. So again, thanks. Got some points this morning, so that's good. I think Soto and Paul both took some points this morning, a couple trades, and they've got those. I've taken one trade. I got that point in a tick, so everybody, we're 100% so far for the day, so which is good. But on my chart that you see on the live stream, I've only had one trade, in which you'll see the markers there showing the entry at 29.05 and a half. We got our target at 26 and a half, and we had a one tick runner go into one tick of profit, and it got ticked out, but we definitely got our point in the tick, which is nice. So we'll keep that going. So whether that 1 point and the tick might be worth 75 today, and down the road that's going to be worth 7,500, 750, 7,500, 75,000. It'll grow like that with compounding. So we just need to be patient on the front side and let the compounding happen.
I'm ready for that compounding to start happening.
It will. Look at Soto, man. Look at Soto. Look where he's at.
Oh, no, he told me all about it.
Yeah, I mean, he trades a lot more than we do on the channel as far as multiple trades, and he took a lot of those in the afternoon and stuff as well. But he's always made his 1 point in the morning.
Yeah, I didn't do them. I'm not doing them many in the afternoon, to be honest. Not as probably as much as you think I am. So
Okay.
I did some, but definitely not every day.
Yeah. Well, you're
Maybe
definitely
one
taking
once,
multiple
maybe.
trades, during the morning session
Right.
anyway.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the morning for
So
sure.
that's how
Yeah.
your contracts have, in the last 29 days
Oh,
have gone to
yeah.
one contract to 19 at this point.
Yeah.
Because of multiple trades,
Well,
which is
they'll
fun.
be the cowboy of trading for nothing. So.
That's true. So if you're going to be a gunslinger like Soto, you could be up to 19 contracts at this point.
Calculated, rule following, gunslinging.
Well, that's okay, and that's okay. That's all right. As long as you stay to the rules, you can definitely have multiple opportunities to trade all day, right?
Absolutely.
Just stick to the rules, and then you'll do very well. So, and the tools of the trade are kind of what's up on the chart there. Price action, volume, support and resistance, supply and demand, and then order flow. It's kind of the fifth one that you don't see on the chart here right now, but you will learn that in time, but not right now. So, Soto is up to 19 contracts without the order flow. So that could tell you that order flow is just kind of icing on the cake. But the other rules are pretty solid. Not bad to have a 4-star opportunity. 5 stars is a little bit better, but 4 stars are going to give you the what you need. So now it's just kind of hanging out and being patient. And so if anybody has any questions, then please put them out there, and I'll answer them, and I'll explain something. Now's a good time to kind of explain any of the strategy that you might not be familiar with, or you want some explanation and hadn't had a chance to watch the videos on the channel explaining each of those tools, then this would be a great time to ask any kind of question. Kind of in the middle of some stuff here. So if you have anything that you need explained, please go ahead and ask. And remember, there's no dumb questions here at all. Doesn't matter if you've never traded a day in your life and you have a question, we can talk about it. Okay? So I want this to be a fun place. I want this to be a really laid back place to learn to trade our method if you're interested in it. It's a very successful method. It has lasted the test of time, you could say. It's because it's based off the fundamentals of the market, which will always be there, always. Which is what's great. It's based on, prices can only do 3 things, right? Up, down, or sideways, and those 3 actions create support and resistance and supply and demands, and it's based off of price action and volume. So if you tie all those in together, that's the market fundamentals. So that's one reason we don't use special indicators here. We don't use oscillators and those kind of things to kind of tell us it's time to trade, because that's always presented after the fact. We use what you'll see on my chart is you might be asking about what are these green lines here, and then the red lines at these areas on pivot candles, and that's really all it is a swing indicator. That's the only indicator really that's on the chart there, and that's one that's just part of NinjaTrader there, but it's just helping identify support and resistance areas is all it's doing. Nothing more than that. It's just kind of a visual interpretation of that. Okay, so from that point, we start to look for opportunities of supply and demand, and then we're watching price action and volume as those areas come into play. So that's kind of what you see on my chart, and that's the most you'll ever see on my chart. Because that's all you need to be very, very successful to trade for a living. That's all you need. So, and you keep your job for time being, come in here and make a few trades, build that account up, and eventually that account will start replacing your income that you make at your job, and eventually it's going to come to a point to where you're going to work and you're losing money because you could be trading. But that's down the road. Yeah, that's down the road. Okay, so it's not something just to quit your job right now and start trading. That's just not what you want to do. You want to make sure you're comfortable and And like someone said, you have a year's worth of money built up in your account, that replaces your income. Then you can kind of do it with relaxed and let price and come to you and take good trades. That way, you're not forcing the issue, and you can give yourself time for your account to grow. Yeah, so that's kind of what this eventually will turn into for you if you stick with it and stay with it and can control your emotions. That's the big thing, is controlling your emotions and wait for your trade based on the method, and then when the opportunity presents itself, hit that trigger, and don't be scared to do so. So anyway, that's it, man. So we just gotta have to hang out and wait, for the opportunity at this point. So again, any questions, please throw them out there. Sure do appreciate you guys being here, and we want this to be a nice, laid-back place for you to learn. So doesn't matter if you have questions about different indicators or whatever. If you just want to ask why we don't do something, or you got something you want us to look at, then we'll definitely talk about it here. Okay, but
I looked at a trade on the previous candle, but I didn't like the size of the candles. But there was a trade I was looking at, 2906.75, kind of in my head. Didn't place a trade or anything, but it definitely respected it. I just didn't like the size of the candles coming into it.
Okay, you were looking for a trade to be short?
Yeah, short trade.
Okay. At the 1010 candle?
Yes, off the, well, no, it would have been off the 9, using the 950 as a zone.
Gotcha, yeah, okay.
Then the 1010 triggered it.
Yeah, that would have been a good rejection, a little bit of a rejection there, yeah. Let's see, you'd have got your point, which would have been nice. But that would have been a very quick to move to the downside, yep. That's a hidden zone there, for sure. Absolutely.
Well, like I said, the bodies of the candles just being that big, just kind of, I stayed out of it. Already made my point for the day, so I'm not trying to lose it.
Nice, yeah, good. I know your first day back here for a week or so. You back to live count, or you demoing this morning?
I'm demoing today just to kind of get my legs back under me.
That's good. No, that's good. I think that was a wise decision. Yeah. Been gone for 7-10 days, so
right.
As we make sure you kind of get back in there, brother. I mean, this is like
I don't know if it's because I'm sick, but when I put that trade in earlier, I was not nervous at all. I was like, I don't care what happens, let it go.
And it's funny as you say that, because that's most of the time when it goes in your direction, right?
Exactly. Then it did exactly what I wanted it to do.
Yeah, because you're not overanalyzing it. You put the trade in because it met your criteria. So you just went ahead and put the order in and not even thinking about it, and it does what it's supposed to do, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, I was actually trying to get my arms back in the sleeves of my shirt so I could stay warm. I was like, Trey said, I'm finished.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, but that's one thing that's cool, about this method. When that one point becomes, $5,000 for that one point, and you're good with making $5,000 for the day. I mean, that happens, and when you put in a trade, when it goes our way, it goes pretty quick, right? So within 30 seconds to a minute and a half, you've made your money and you're done for the day, man. You walk away and go. For me, I go play golf.
Go get in bed.
Or go good in bed if you're not feeling well, whatever.
Yeah, feel bad, you get bed.
Hey guys.
Or if you're trading at that level, then you can just sit in your bed and make that, and just turn it and lay it down and roll over.
Can you guys hear me?
We got it, brother.
Sorry to interrupt. You guys were talking. I made a quick point. No big deal.
Okay.
Why
did you take the trade? What was your point?
Yeah. Well, remember the zone I told you about from 8.75 to 7.75? and then a confluence with the hidden zone there from the 750 candle. I went in at 7.75.
To the short side, right?
Correct, to the short, yes.
Okay, good.
And got a point. I talked contracts at a point, but unfortunately it came back and ticked me out of one tick profit for the rest 7 other points, so I got 7 times tick. So,
cool, nice. Well, that's not unfortunate. That's always good. I mean,
no, that's good. No, yeah. No, I mean, sorry.
I know what you're saying. You didn't catch a runner, but yeah, I got what you're saying. You like to catch those runners are fun when you catch them. So you're always looking for that runner. You're always leaving that extra one in there to catch some runners.
Absolutely. Coming back in, I'm not going to trade because I believe that's sort of. Maybe it's still going to reject a little higher, but it's too risky for me. I already got my point out of it, so.
Yeah.
And it did. It looks like I had a good rejection from that area, but too risky now to go again. But nice, look at that.
Yeah.
Good area.
Like you said, it's a little more high risk, and no reason to take the high risk. I mean, I know you're up quite a bit for the day. I mean, you're up a few $1,000s for the day because you've had 3 or 4 trades and multiple contracts, which is good. So, I mean, you could definitely take a higher risk trade at this point.
Right.
But, I'm not going to fault you for not doing that by any means, but you can definitely take a higher risk trade because, quite honestly, you have a zone there. Price volume's decreasing quite a bit. Look at that. I mean, volume's very low. So you can definitely look knowing that price is going to hesitate out of there, right? It's just a matter of we get to
it. Went in, like I said, again, the zone is from 7.75 to 8.75. And so that went beautifully right into the and that's so I got the 2. I didn't trade the second time, but I got my first trade right at the bottom of the zone at 7.75, and the next one went up to 8.5. So that was 2 good, potentially good trades there. Like I said, I was trading on the first one on the 10-15 candle, but I didn't trade on the second one there.
Yeah.
I still haven't quite. I think you've done that. I don't mind doing a second trade out of a zone, but I typically don't do it right away. I think I'm a little slow at it. I think it's just, I don't know if it's a fear of like, well, I just come a point, I don't want to jump right in and lose the point, right? So I don't know what it is. Probably it's mostly mental, I guess, but yeah, that was, either way would have been a good trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way is a good trade, absolutely. And that's one of the beautiful things about trading. I mean, everybody's personality comes out in their trading, you know. There's some people that are definitely a lot more aggressive and gunslinging, and then there's some people that are way more conservative, and they'll just take less trades, but they tend to be better trades, you know. So it just really depends on what your personality is and what your confidence level is in the method itself. And as you do more of the method, just like you guys have done extremely well now in your method, in this method, that you get more confidence in it, and you tend to take more trades. Because this trade that you just took and that Mitchell pointed out earlier, I obviously, you see I haven't pointed it out for the group yet on the live stream, because it's a quick entry back into the short side. I mean, it meets all the rule criteria to draw a zone to the short side, but I'm just not going to draw that for confusion purposes to people that are brand new to it. Okay, I want it to be obvious, big obvious zones. Okay, and but if you've been around the method for a while, you'll see that it kind of is obvious to you at that point. But until you learn the method, I'm not going to draw that up for this. It's my chart's the one that's being shown to everybody. So, but good trade, though. Good trade. Yeah, good trade.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, so we got about 45 minutes left, 40 minutes left of the live stream. So all's well thus far. We got news at 10:30. Remember that. We got 10 minutes till news. Crude oil inventories, and that's the reason I think you're kind of seeing price kind of just meander sideways here, not a lot of volume. Even on the order flow, not a ton of things going on. So we got a lot of volume, but it's just all kind of sideways stuff right now. So we'll just kind of watch it. It kind of be right. Could we just need to wait till the news really comes out, probably before we enter any other trades. I think the news is what's going to get us into areas of potential trades, and we'll kind of wait for that to happen, and then kind of let the market digest it and look for opportunities for direction at that point. That's if we're still here, because we tend to like I like to end the session around 11 o'clock. Sometimes it's 11:15, just depending on what the situation is, but I like to be done. I go to the gym and go play, do other things, and so I like to kind of put my 2 hours in, and then kind of get to the house and go do other things actually. So we'll just kind of be patient and hang out for the next few minutes until opportunity presents itself. Definitely expect to find a little support in this area, but not going to make the trade. Not going to make a trade right now. All right. So, boys aren't feeling well today, guys. So if you're new to the channel,
Yeah, we normally talk a lot more.
There's a lot more storytelling going on, a little more entertainment, but those boys are good for that, not me. I tend to just be kind of quiet and hang back. And
It hurts too badly to speak.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm being quiet.
I'm trying to talk a little bit more because of that, but because other than that, it'd be a lot of dead time and dead zone.
I'll have to tell y'all some Thailand stories when I'm feeling up to it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd love to hear some of that.
We had some wild interest.
I bet you did. We'll have to hear about that sometime next week or whenever you get the film better, for sure.
I'll whip this about tomorrow.
All right, cool. So, Paul, man, I know Paul. I don't know if I know Paul's at a job as well, but he trades pretty good during this time. He has access to his computer. But Paul, you got any other trades? I know you took 2 this morning, and so I'd be interested to see if you got any more trades going on. Also, I will say this: we've started Mitchell. I don't think you know this since you've been gone, but in the evening time, we've started doing maybe a few nights a week, around 9 to 10 o'clock. Kind of go into the charts for about 10 or 15 minutes to see on the hourly time frame to see if we kind of have any kind of overnight trades we can take. Just like the auto trader. A lot of the times with the auto trader, take some trades or and stuff like that. We'll kind of look and kind of see what kind of opportunities we have there. So we just started. We've only done that twice. We'll do it again tonight, probably like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Eastern?
Eastern time. It's just about 10, 15 minutes because we're looking at hourly time frames there, right? Because we're looking for bigger moves and we're looking to catch trades through the night. It's always nice waking up to money, in your account.
Do you do that with the auto trader, or do you just put a trade in and let it?
My auto trader runs because it runs on a completely different account, right? So I never mess with my auto trader. I let it runs the days it's supposed to run, and that's on a completely different account. It's actually my large account. It runs that on, and so I don't mess with that. So at night, like we'll start doing here at night, and a little bit will be kind of some of the same trades. It might take. But we'll look for them a little bit differently. But we kind of just look to see if there's any opportunity there for kind of us people to catch some trades through the night, that if they can't be here during the day, that they can kind of get an idea of what's going on at night. So so we'll do that for about 10 or 15 minutes. There's not a lot going on there. It's the exact same method. It's just done on an hourly time frame, right? So we're just looking for the same hidden zone or obvious zone and putting a trade in and putting an ATM that's set for that kind of a method, that kind of a big move, and then we'll kind of shut it down and be done, and we'll just wake up the next day and hopefully there's money in the account. If not, no big deal, right? So that's kind of what we'll do that a few times at night, just for people that are at work during the day and they can't be in front of their computer, but they can kind of still learn the method in kind of
trading.
Yeah, definitely run it tonight. Yeah. They made 12 points yesterday. I think Paul got 12 out of it yesterday on that big move down.
Is Tuesday normally a day y'all run it?
Yeah, we'll run it during the day about at 10 o'clock in the morning, roughly somewhere around there, to start looking for trades. And yesterday just happened to be a good news trade, and it caught it, and at least got a little bit of it. It got 12 points of it. I think the overall trade went down quite a bit before the market was closed, 20 to 25 points, but we got 12 points out of it, which was nice. You didn't have to do anything except let the auto trader do what it does, right? And locked in 12 points, and it came back and got out, but that's still nice 12 points there. So I think Paul got all 12 of those, which was good. And so auto trader's been doing pretty well, you know. I think it's a good example that you let the auto trader do what it's supposed to do. It loses, you know, it only wins about 55 to 60% of the time, right? But you let it
Hey,
do
as
what
long as it's 51%, I'm good with it.
Oh yeah, because you're going to win 2.5 to 3.5 times your loss, you know. So the reward is awesome to the risk. So yeah, even if you've won 50%, even if you won 40%, even if you only won 40% of the time, you're going to kill it in the auto trader over time. You just have to let it do what it does, you know. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to try to push that here, but anyway, that's kind of what we'll do at night tonight. Kind of go through that for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be a real quick session. You don't have to be there; it's not a big deal. But just let you know, we'll do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll try to make it. I should be able to.
Yeah.
Got a soccer game at 5:30, but it should be finished by 37 o'clock.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, Paul, you said no more yet, just watching and listening. Cool, good job, Paul. So nice job on your trades this morning, by the way. Good job. So Paul took some trades prior to us even opening up here, and based on the method, he got some good trades in the pre-market, which is a very good job. So, all right, we're about 3 minutes away from news, so we're just going to hang out a little bit longer. I'm going to move some of this zone I've got drawn up here. I'm going to move that.
I have to take a trade out of here.
Say what?
Like you said, it was news.
Yeah, yeah. so you're going to go ahead and get in a trade.
Yeah, I'm going to have to trade real quick.
Yeah. So Soto, if you're new, Soto's our resident news trader, whether he realizes he's in a trade or not during news. So we gotta.
Oh, you did it?
Break that
Again, Soto?
Again, yeah, a couple times actually.
Dude, BJ was so bad.
On your phone like 5 minutes out. Do not trade.
Dude, and the great thing was, I got lucky, right? And I took the good ride. I forgot how many points it was. But it was really good.
It was good.
But you know, you could tell BK wasn't happy. He's like, yeah, that's gonna come back and get you one day. And I was like, it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, that's right. I will put a little caveat into it from a news standpoint. If you've got a zone that price could react out of it, and if you got a zone that the news moves to that price, you know, that price moves to that zone, I don't have a problem taking the trade because we got a 1 point stop, right? So worst case area, it goes to our zone and could go to a big move, but we're risking 1 point to do it. So I'm not just totally against news trades, but I would like it to be around a zone, you know. Like right now, this is not a news trade. This is not a news trade right now. We don't have a zone right here.
We don't. But I traded out of a zone, by the way, for the record. It wasn't just a random trade.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's the reason I put a little caveat into it. Yeah, if you're doing it out of a zone, that's fine because you're risking that same 1 point and hopefully catching a big violent move in an opposite or in the direction you want it to go. But we're not in the zone now, so this will definitely not be the time. We got 1 minute to news. I'll go ahead and pull up. I use Forex Factory for my kind of news calendar, so I'll just kind of pull that up and kind of watch for news. But we've got the crude oil inventories, which will create a little movement for us, even on the S&P 500. So it will create some movement. So we'll kind of watch it. You know, if you're watching CL, you know, crude, if you're watching real crude trade market, I mean the CL market, you definitely see some big swings getting ready to happen. But we don't trade the CL, even though you could absolutely trade this method on that as well. We just don't do it for the channel. So, But you'll find this method works for anything that has a chart, man. This method will work. So that's the beautiful thing about it. You could trade it on the CL if you wanted to. All right, just a few more seconds here. We'll kind of keep an eye out and see if we kind of get some reaction. Here it comes, 10:30 right here. So
there we go. She's starting to run now.
Let's see what happens here. We're expecting 2 million.
Also, yesterday, Big K, just to let you know, I got a zone down at 2881.5 to 2885.75.
Okay, now we got a negative 3.1 million barrels, so we're under production. So it's not good news right here. So we'll see. But one thing, if you've ever traded news, you know sometimes even when you have negative news, you get
It goes the other way.
yeah, and vice versa. So that's the reason we're real cautious with the news. But we have negative 3.1 million, so it's a negative report. So we'll just kind of watch it and see what price wants to do, and see if we can kind of get any opportunities out here for the next 30 minutes, which is what we have. So Soto, I'm sorry. Tell me one more time. Where's your zone at?
No worries. It's 2885.75.
And where did you get that from? On a 5-minute candle or hourly candle or what?
5-minute candles from several days.
Several days ago? Okay.
It must be a long time ago because I haven't seen any zones way over there. I mean, I'm backed up a bunch of days.
Yeah, it's been a while. And so it goes from 85.75 to 81.5.
85.75. Okay. Now there is a zone right there in the hourly time frame I'm going to pull up here. That's price got to get through a lot of support to that, but there is a zone, a hidden zone. I'm going to pull this up real quick here. There's definitely a hidden zone right there. I'm going to put a line for reference. Sorry about this, guys. If you're watching, moving the chart around a lot, just going to an hourly time frame to try to find where we have some potential rejection, even off that negative news there. We'll have some rejection at some point, so I want to kind of bring that into focus and see where that could be. And you said yeah. So I have that same. I have a zone drawn up at 86. It's the top of it, kind of the same place you're at, but it's from an hourly time frame, and yours is on a 5-minute time frame, right? Soto?
Mm-hmm. Sorry again, I was talking with the meeting. Yes, I do. Correct. 5 minutes.
All right. Yep. So we're kind of in between zones here, so we'll just let price do what it wants to do based off of as it digests that news, and we'll kind of wait and see what happens. So you can definitely see potential lightning bolt pattern lined up here, which I'll kind of draw just for the purpose of it. Would have already been traded though, already been triggered, but.
So do you think you have food poisoning?
I know I got food poisoning. Yes.
How long you had it?
I think it was yesterday or the day before last night.
Food poisoning usually doesn't last that long, brother.
It does not. No. So while you're correct, unfortunately the fever has lingered in a little longer than usual.
I got it for the first time last year. I was in Indiana at a business meeting with this guy real late at night. He wanted to go to Denny's. And anyway, we went to Denny's, and I, honest to God, thought I was going to die. I did. At one moment, I was laying completely butt naked on the floor of the bathroom in my Airbnb, and I had already just come to grips with the fact that I was going to die right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not too far from that.
Unfortunately. Yeah, that food poisoning's not fun because it's a violent 24 hours, man.
Yeah, it's awful.
Been there.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's
almost like
almost
you can't see.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Of course, Dad, he was like, "Well, son, you knew better to eat at Denny's."
Who said that?
My dad was like,
Yeah.
"Sympathy, brother." Y'all were talking earlier about losing money if you're doing something instead of what you can. Like when I was growing up, he once told me that I needed to learn how to drink my coffee black because if you bill hourly, the amount of time it takes you to put creamer and all in your coffee every day, at the end of the year, you've lost out on a lot of money. I was like, all right.
All right, Dad.
That's slightly psychotic.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds about right. Oh, that's
Funny.
All right. All right, so it's. Oh, let me see here, Mike. I just gotta keep a watch on things here. See what everything presents itself.
Hey, Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, buddy.
I got you, bro.
You know how we talked about how BK in the morning, we didn't think he was like a morning person because his voice looks like he's been a chronic smoker for the last 50 years. So when we started this night training, I was like, okay, his voice is probably going to be really good and ready for action here. And unfortunately, somehow it's worse.
I told you what it is, man. I do more talking here than I do all day long, man. My voice is not used to it because I haven't.
Still really funny though.
I'm not a big talker either. I used to be. Something about like mid-20s, man. I quit talking so much.
I've never been a big talker ever. I've always been kind of quiet, and so it definitely has nothing to do with smoking. I smoke about one cigar a year, maybe. That's about it.
Hey, you're more of a man than I am.
I like cigars. I just don't.
They won't put me down.
I got my hands on a Cuban my friend had.
Uh-oh, don't be talking like that, man.
Yeah, they're contraband, so they.
Contraband.
That, boy.
Cuban? No, we were peaceful Cuba.
No, we went back unpeaceful with them.
Oh, man. We need to bring Barack back.
I mean, I don't know if the embargo's still there, but I know that we aren't friendly. I know we're not friendly anymore with them. I kick myself for not going when we had the opportunity because, which now they've got new cars and all, but I think it would have been so cool to see Cuba when they, because 1956, 1957 vehicles were all they had.
Right.
Like all the cabs were old Bel Airs, and that would have just been so neat, like stepping back in time. But I tried to get a trip up, and everyone thought I was crazy, so I didn't go. A friend of mine got married the same day I did. He took a cruise to Mexico and the Caribbean, and I'm sure y'all know that there's like 6 tropical storms.
Right.
He said they never let them on the deck of the boat. They kept them inside the entire time. And the wind and waves were so bad that they locked all the doors and said that they were worried people would get swept overboard.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
That's
what you get when you pay for a $300 cruise because it's
I would
hurricane season.
have just not gone personally.
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to take a cruise, the safest choice, especially this time of year, is an Alaska cruise.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the countries I want to take. I've read they're beautiful.
They're great. They're safe.
They're awesome. Well, that's Rachel and my wife and I want to do that again because we went on a. It's been, I guess, right after we got married, so about 19 years ago, we took an inside passage, an Alaskan cruise on the inside, what they call the inside passage there.
Right.
Which is Glacier Bay and all that. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
That's what I read. I'd love to do it. I've actually never visited Alaska. That's one of my bucket list places for sure.
Yeah, man.
Dude, you gotta go camp in Denali, bro.
Yeah, well, I gotta warm up to that.
Yeah.
Gotta camp Alabama first.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a great time. I love it.
We went cave kayaking when we were in Thailand, and that was a little much for me. I didn't realize what we had signed up for. They just take you out in the middle of the ocean where they have one of those big rock formations, and you wait for the tide to go down, and it opens up a little hole. And you lay down on your back in the kayak and pull yourself through the cave, and then you come into a lagoon in the middle of the rock formation, which is hollow in the middle. It's beautiful mango trees and everything, but the whole time the guide was like, okay, we got to go now, the tide's going to come back up, and we get trapped inside. I was like, oh no.
Like literally seconds count. You're like 1 second off.
If I would have known I was not signed up for such a trip.
See, those are the best. Those are the best, man. You gotta live life ahead, bro.
We had met this couple from Australia, and we'd become really good friends with them, and they signed up for it, and they were like, oh, just sign up for the kayaking trip. And I said, we're going to go on today, it'll be really fun. So we did, it's just the four of us. And I knew something was up when the guy gave me a helmet, because I'm like, why do I need a helmet if I'm kayaking in the ocean? But then I quickly realized that I didn't need a helmet.
There you go. That's funny.
That's good. Anytime you have to sign forms,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's never a
no
sign.
forms over there. I did not sign a single release form. We went scuba diving. I'm certified, but Madeline's not. They didn't train her. They didn't give her a release form. Absolutely, and there was nothing. The kayaking, no release forms. Everything we did, zip lining. I mean, absolutely everything we did. We did not sign a single release form. I was like, well, it's a different world over here.
yeah.
And our guide was
What
like,
happens? No one's gonna know. They're like, oh, I've never seen them.
yeah, they'd just gone back and been like, no, they didn't show up.
The guy up there was saying they didn't see you guys just wearing your shirt. No, we didn't see that guy. You have a shirt on. Oh no, I found this on the beach.
Yeah, I found this on beach.
Well, they took us snorkeling one day, took us to this one place, and he was like, this is Shark Inlet. We would like y'all to snorkel here. You see many sharks. I was like, oh no. I don't like sharks.
Shark Week. I
So,
can watch Shark Week on TV, man. I can see
Right.
all the sharks I want on TV.
Yeah, I do not like sharks. But you have to know my wife. My wife likes to tell me that I'm a baby. So she was like, we're just a baby. Just come on. They're not going to bite us. Okay.
As you come
Sure.
back one on. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we didn't get bit, so that was good.
She's right. They're not gonna bite you. He's gonna snap your leg off.
It's gonna eat your whole man. They're gonna bite you. It's gonna eat your whole body.
Well, they made me take my watch and my ring off because they were like, oh, the barracudas will attack anything shiny. I was like, okay.
Oh man.
This is
Oh
really
my
good.
god.
I can just see you, man. And just was like, what? Big old wide-eyed, like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I was like, how about I just stay in the boat, make sure y'all are all okay. Like, I wanted to see some coral reef and maybe a clownfish, you know, I didn't sign up. I didn't sign up for barracudas and sharks.
Clownfish. Oh man.
I thought we were going to go see Nemo or something, but no.
Oh,
It
that
was-
was fun.
I won't do it again.
That's good.
Oh no, man. I would do that. I would enjoy doing it actually, but I'd have to be kind of in a cage, kind of like Soto did it. I'd have to be.
Yeah.
I'd like
no,
to
you're
dive
free
with
dive.
sharks, but I'd like to do it in a cage. I don't want to free dive.
Yeah. No. Which you're actually seriously, if you ever see a shark, you want to go under the water. You don't want to be above the water.
That is true.
Because they see you as a seal.
Yeah.
If you're in the water, you're equal with them. They're okay. They might come and smell you or something, but nothing bad's gonna happen, most likely.
I swam similar to a top spinning in the water. I just constantly rotated because I wanted to know if anything was sneaking up behind.
That's so true.
Like a dog circling before it lays
I
down.
was bobbing for the slowest because I was watching my six the entire time.
Dude, when you feel somebody touch your leg or something touch your leg, but it's the person next to you, you start screaming at them like, "Do not touch my leg." So, oh my gosh, that's the scariest one. Gosh.
But no, they didn't teach us. They didn't teach any of the people that didn't know how to scuba dive. They didn't teach them about, how you have to scale up. Like, you can't go to 100 feet and then just go right back up to the surface. You'll get nitrogen in your blood. They didn't teach anyone that. It was just like, let's go, guys, jump in, go swimming.
There we go.
So I had Madeline, and I was like, no, we have to stop here at 50 feet and wait for about 10 minutes, and then we can go on up. Before she thought I was being paranoid.
All right, guys, we got about 15 minutes left until the session's over, so we're looking at potential trade down here, bottom side. But so if you're watching and see our zones there, you'll see that's what the zone's drawn up on the bottom based on an hourly time frame. But I don't know if we'll make a trade here at this late in the day, but we'll kind of watch it and see.
That's fine.
So again, thanks for joining us. If you've joined us for the first time, sure do appreciate that. And, take the time to like and subscribe if you don't mind, and then check out the channel and the method videos in the channel there. Kind of understand what each of these tools mean, and kind of have a video dedicated to each of these tools. So just take the time to check those out if you don't care. They're not long videos, they're pretty short videos, so you can kind of learn a little bit about each of those in our method here. So, but again, thanks for being here. Sure do appreciate it. We got about 13-14 minutes left, and we'll probably start the closing process, show the spreadsheet, show what we've done for the day, that kind of stuff. But we got about 13 minutes.
I just want to encourage people. This is true. This is from the heart. If you have never traded before, if you're new, this is something you can definitely learn. I would say majority of people learn this if you follow the rules and be patient. So, because like I said, when I got started, I knew nothing about this kind of trading, or trading really of any kind. So, just want to encourage you to stick with it and ask any questions and watch all the videos BK has made and created to learn the different tools and how they're applied to our trading. So, just because I always get a little discouraged when I start something new because I feel like I can't learn this, and then I'm like, oh, this is never going to happen. And like 3 weeks later, I'm like, oh man, that was nothing. So, yeah, and then, whatever time, not just 3 weeks, but so just want to encourage people. So.
Yeah, good. I agree with that. Good word there. Because you might be intimidated at first if you've never been new to it or you don't know anything about it. It might be intimidating, but there's really nothing to it, man. You'll get it very quickly.
Just like scuba diving in the Philippines, man. Nothing to it, man. You just go in,
You just jump
jump in, bro. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, what's the worst thing that could happen?
This is true, by the way. I was at in a place where there's a lot of bears, grizzly bears. One of the guys I was with was like, man, the trick is to play dead. And I said,
That's the exact opposite of what I've always heard.
Yeah. So I was like, so we're going to rely on my acting skills here to survive.
And how committed are you to that when that bear comes up and starts pushing on you? Lays on top of you.
That's exactly what he said. He was like, they'll come and smell you, and then they may put their paws on you, kind of jump on you a little bit. At this point, I'm going to die.
Y'all know about a Wolverine?
Show your commitment,
that
buddy.
animal so mean.
Uh-huh.
A Wolverine, you know, that little, it's like a little badger-looking thing, but it's like incredibly aggressive.
Uh-huh.
One of my good friends we were all hunting up in Canada. He didn't know what a Wolverine was, and one came in the blind with him where he was hunting, and he just thought it was this little furry creature. So he starts poking it with his arrow, trying to get it to leave him alone, and it starts hissing and standing up on its back legs and showing its teeth. And he was like, "Oh, you're bad, aren't you? Yeah, you're bad." Anyway, he got back into camp that night. He told the guides about it. The guy was like, "You are lucky to be alive." He said, "That is the only thing in the woods that a grizzly bear is scared of."
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's when you take Alabamians to Canada. That's what happens.
He's poking it.
Yeah, he's poking it. I was like, well, it wouldn't leave me alone. It just kept sitting in my blind with me. So I was poking it, trying to get it to leave me alone, and it started hissing. I was like, oh, gosh. I've luckily never had any weird experiences like that. I've seen some wolves and things like that, but I just close my eyes and walk really fast.
There you go.
We're training one day. My family, when we were younger, we would train and practice in case we came up to a bear. And, you know, the thing you have to really do is just stick together and make yourself really big, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what I've always done.
Yeah, that's, and, you know, bear spray. Okay. And,
Not bad.
sorry, man.
Professional, I know.
Yeah. So we start practicing this. Next thing we know, we're looking for my brother, and he's took it off running. He's like, "You guys are suckers." That was the funny thing. Because that would really happen. He would just leave us behind. It's like, yeah, you guys just play with the bear. I'm running. Little bears. Yeah, I don't think this is going to come down to us here in our time frame.
Probably not. Yeah, it's kind of showing some support right there and bouncing a little bit, but we got we got 8 minutes left. But I mean, it has to be. It's gonna come down. I think for sure. I think it's gonna come down, but when it comes down in our time frame, I don't know. But it's gonna have to get deep in the zone for me to make the trade this late. I mean, it's not like it's late in the morning. It's just we just like to shut down around 11:15 at the latest. So we'll just gotta keep a quick eye on it for a few more minutes, and then we'll start the shutdown process, showing spreadsheets, updating all that, and then so everybody can see kind of real time what's going on. I've only had one trade for the day, but I know Soto, you've had 3 or 4 trades, and Paul's had a few trades, and Mitch has had a trade, and so everybody's 100% so far today, which is great. So
That's really good.
Always like that.
Mitch, how many trades have you taken?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Just one. One for one, bro.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk about the zone real quick while we got a few minutes anyway. Where are you looking to trade out of this if you make a trade here? Anybody? Who's got a zone here besides me? Soto has a zone at this
I got
influence. What, you got the same zone, or where does your zone start?
Now, where's your zone at?
My zone starts at 85 and 3/4. It's based off an hourly time frame.
85 and 3/4. Okay, I'm one.
Looking at 80.
Yeah, I'm at. Yeah. That's mine goes at 5.75
Yeah, 85 and 3/4 to what?
to 81.5.
Okay, yeah. All right, good. Yeah, so mine goes down to 81.75. Yeah, exactly. So that's an hourly time frame. Hidden zone down an hourly. So there's confluence
but
there.
I got mine on a 5-minute chart, so
That's good. Yeah, that's confluence. That's good. And then I don't have an entry. If I were to entry here, it wouldn't be until about 84.5. I'd be looking for a little bounce out of that if price presents itself at that price, at that area of good support. That's where I would be looking to make the trade here. But we got 5 minutes left, so don't know if we'll catch it or not. But so that's a good area of confluence anyway. And if you look at my chart, I drew a little lightning bolt pattern, and the second leg of this is about the length of the first leg coming up, and it kind of ends kind of right in our zone there. So, but that's just more confluence to possibly take a trade if it's interesting to you. But
now look at this push up here.
yeah, it's a good push right here. There's some money right there at 88 even. There's some big money coming in there. So,
Yeah.
but that's all right. I'm not chasing it by any means. I'm not going to chase it.
No.
So we'll just kind of watch it. Alrighty. All right, I'm gonna consider that with that push out like that. I'm gonna consider my day over. I'm not gonna wait for it to get back in. It's still gonna come to our zone possibly, but I'm not gonna wait for it at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and start updating the spreadsheet and put that out here for everybody. So go ahead and start gathering your points for me if you don't mind.
Yep, already did, bro.
All right, well, good. Hold on just a second. Let me kind of pull the spreadsheet into view for everybody to see it. All right, got the spreadsheet in view now, so we'll kind of wait. Let me see when I can. All right, so there's the spreadsheet. Everybody should be able to see that at this point. So we always start off with our individual results, and that's taken from the first trade between either from Mitchell or Soto for the day. So let me go ahead and put that in there. Soto, we trade one contract here for that individual, okay? So we got 1 point made. So Soto made that 1 point there early on. No lost points. So net $44.80, okay? That's after commission, all right? So you can see we're up to 1709 now. So very nice job there. 70% on your $1,000 account in 29 days. So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty awesome. But remember, the beautiful thing about this is it's 1 point at a time. You know, so we're taking 1 point loss and 1 point profit. So you can see, if you look at the spreadsheet here, you can see where we've entered our losing days. And you could actually go back and watch all these videos and see that we're doing exactly what we say we're doing here. We put our losses in there as well as our winners. So it doesn't matter if how many losses in a row we might have, we're going to put those in there. And so I want it to be 100% honest, so you can see everything, the account grow like it's supposed to go based on our 1 point a day. Right now we're doing really well on our entry, you know. So that just proves, because we're 12 days now, it looks like, into our straight winners, which is consecutive winners, I guess I should say, and that goes a lot for showing how we're entering trades on our rules and making sure everything's lined up and we're making good trades. So nice job there, guys. So that's up to 1709.60. So good job. All right, that's the individual. So now from a team standpoint, we just kind of put in there what we've done as a team, and we use one contract still for right now, but we just multiply it by the points. That way it's easier, and it kind of continues to go along with what we've done. So Soto, I know you've had a bunch of trades. I only had one trade today on 2 contracts at a point and a quarter and a tick. So that's what I've added to today. But for the team thing, but go ahead and tell me all your total points made. Soto.
Yeah, I took three trades, and 55.75.
That's your total,
Point.
right? That's not net.
That's right.
55.75. Then I made a point and 25, and then Mitchell made a point 25. I
You
think.
made 55 points?
Yeah, because he's trading. But he's trading 19 contracts. So the way we have to do that is still consider it on the spreadsheet at one contract for right now, and then just times it by how many points instead of trying, because we're all trading different contracts. So the way we have to do it as a team is just one contract times how many points we've made.
Yeah.
So
On the first trade, I made 28 and a quarter points. On the second and third trade, I made both 13.75 points, 13.75 points. So So I had a good runner on one, and the other ones just got my point, and then it came back and kicked me out of the take profit. So, so total 55.75.
So no losses, right?
No losses, correct.
So nobody lost any points today, which was good. So that means we netted out $58.25, paid $302 in commissions, $303 basically. So a good day of $26.09 as a team. So we're up to $14,135 as a team. So good job, guys. So all right. So the big thing most people want to know is individually how you trade and how this works out. And today again, 1 point. We always take that first point out of the trade from Mitchell or Soto. And win or lose, we do that. And like I said, it's been a good run streak, consecutive win streak at this point. So they're doing very good. That means they're getting their entries even better and better, which is very, very good. So we started out with $1,000 in this account, one contract, 1 point stop, 1 point profit. So even with commissions we're still up to $709 in pure profit in this account after commissions. So you'll see. When we get into $2,000, we'll add 2 contracts, and those will go up. And you'll start seeing this thing really start to compound. Because remember, we're taking the same point, right? We're making that same point, and you're going to see this compound, and you'll start to see it grow a little bit quicker each contract, and you'll start jumping contracts as we start getting into the 4, 5, 6 contracts traded. You'll start seeing that every day or two we jump add a whole nother contract. Okay. Because every $1,000 we add a contract, and we can only do that on a $1,000 account if we take a 1 point stop, right? And we control how many times we trade. That's the only way you can do that from a leverage standpoint, okay? In your account. So that's how you can trade one full contract on a $1,000 account. All right. So again, good job, guys. Very nicely done today. But if don't have anything else. That's probably going to be about it for today. We're going to go ahead and call it. But Paul, good job, guys. Everybody, thanks for joining us today. If you've liked kind of what you've seen or even have any kind of interest in what we do, please subscribe to the channel and you get notification when we go live or any new videos are posted to the channel. You'll get those. So please subscribe and join us again tomorrow. Like I said, we'll come in tonight for about 10 or 15 minutes and kind of do this on a more of a swing trade concept through the night. So we'll probably be in around 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, but by subscribing, you get notification when we're going to do that. So that's one of the beautiful things. That's one of the good things about subscribing to the channel. You'll get notified when we go in live at night for about 10 or 15 minutes as well. So, but we will do that tonight. But anyway, guys, again, good job. Hope y'all get the feeling better. And yeah, if y'all have nothing to say, we'll see y'all in the morning, right?
All right. Well, yeah, I'll see y'all tonight, hopefully.
Or tonight, excuse me. Yep, tonight. All right, guys, thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah. You too.
You've been listening and watching the Titan Futures 1 Point a Day Challenge. Live stream. Remember, we're live daily, 9 to 11, and BK, Soto, and Mitchell are here to help. The Titan Futures 1 Day Point a Day Challenge, where anyone can learn how to day trade the futures market. Till next time.